What is going on? Welcome to Ruu S Room, where we get into the nitty-gritty of the artists and creatives in the Australian scene. I am Ruu, aka the Culture Black Kid, and today we have Kween G. She is an Afro-Australian artist and cultural leader, as initially seen from the mid to late 2000s duo Killer Queens. Her most recent work, Sensible Rebel, was released in 2022, and she continues to be an advocate for both Black and women's rights within the industry. Queen, how you doing? Like for real, for real. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I give thanks. I like to pay my respects to the original custodians of the land in which we are gathering here digitally in this digital space. The Gadigal people, that's where I'm coming from. Originally from Uganda, Mbale. So I like to also acknowledge my ancestors and my roots from there. And yeah, today's been a great day. It's been sunny. It's summertime here in Sydney, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, it's hot.
No, for sure. For sure. I make these jokes a fair bit, but also just references. I always, during the summer, obviously typical attire, maybe basketball shorts or, that or the t-shirt, but I always make sure I still keep a hoodie on me when I go to places like the studio or the office, because they are going to be blasting the AC at 15 degrees, full pelt. And it's like, I was in there yesterday, like, I'm shivering. Why is it so cold in this office?
Because you're not climatized. It's not your natural habitat to be in the cold.
Exactly. Exactly. For those who don't know, I'm not sure if you know, I'm South African myself. This painting right here was a gift to my grandma, my late grandma. And this is the apartment that I'm actually that she used to live in when she lived at home. And yeah, that's of Cape Town. I just thought it'd be nice to to let you know. It has nothing to do with the interview.
Yeah, no, I was actually quite curious where you're from, but I've never been to South Africa. I get that a lot. People think I'm from South Africa or Ethiopia. But they're fully convinced. They're like, you're South African. So maybe somewhere along the lines is, some connection. But no, I absolutely love everything about the beautiful Southern Africa, especially Amapiano and all the music that comes out and the culture and the history and everything else. So yeah, mad respect.
For sure. For sure. Speaking of our culture, I haven't mentioned this on any of the other ones that's dropped this month, but I'm not sure if anyone noticed a theme, but one of my main reasons for especially having Queen on and, the other people who I had on is that I really wanted to have every single guest through February be Black, because it's not celebrated in Australia, unfortunately, like technically, but it is Black History Month throughout February, which is mostly in the United States. But, still, regardless of that, we can still, celebrate throughout February and throughout the whole year, 365, because, always going to be unapologetically Black. And yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good, because I always acknowledge Black History Month, whether or not it's something that gets acknowledged here. And I feel like we can start doing that now. But yeah, I love this month, and it's definitely something that I get into. So that really means a lot to be featured. This is my first Black History Month interview.
Well, I'm honored to have you on for sure. Yeah. So I think the first time we met, I think it was at Red Rattler. I'm pretty sure it was for the Pastor Mike. I could be wrong. I have a feeling we actually might have met prior to that. But that's probably my first time, like, really remembering. I'm not sure if you can remember off the top of your head.
Oh, look, I have this terrible memory of how I often will know someone for years and I forget. I'm like, how did we meet? We're so close, and I've forgotten that day. So yeah, I definitely feel like it would have been at Pastor Mike, Red Rattler.
For sure. I do remember also, because I have a studio in Marrickville, offbeat. And I was walking past you, and you were walking towards Red Rattler, and we saw each other. We're like, hi. But it was kind of that like hi where it's like, we know each other.
Yeah.
But like we've talked before, but we just blanked for a moment, and it was really, it was kind of funny.
And plus it's a digital space too. Like I follow you and I watch your content as well. So sometimes when you're watching people that you've never, like you don't often meet or interact with, you do also get that, because I have that, but I also do this. Any Black person I see, I do the,
of course, the acknowledgement,
whatever. Even if someone doesn't do it back, I will always stop what I'm doing, pause my moment, even if I'm in the comment, like
100%. 100%. Oh, that's yeah. No, I'm the same. I'm the same. I
I
especially,
get excited. I'm like,
of
woo.
course, oh my goodness, another black person. I love it. Good to see you, brother or sister. For sure. All right. Well, uh, as I mentioned in my little monologue at the beginning, this interview isn't a typical. So tell me about um I don't know, something specific. It is to get to know you a bit more. It's to get to know, maybe your artistry, about your history throughout Australia and what you've given to the culture so far. And again, just to get to know you a bit more. And my first question to kick that off is, what percentage of yourself do you think your inner circle really knows about you?
Ooh, you know what? My inner circle knows me very well.
Mm,
They know what I like, what I don't like. They know how I'm going to react to something.
hmm.
They know how to give information to me. They know what I can do. I'm actually also known as the tech support
Ah,
because I
nice.
usually can generally answer any question that gets thrown my way, even if it's
Mm,
some random question that's got nothing to do with me, like what time a shop closes. I get these responses, and that's part of them knowing me. It's like, yeah, they can ask me these random stuff, and I'm gonna somehow still don't know how pull up a
mhm.
response to it.
No, for sure, for sure. I'm kind of similar where I don't know. It's not so much people ask me the question. I just know I have a memory bank of just random facts in my head. That's just
Mm.
like, if maybe if I didn't remember this, I would have done better in science in school or something
Yeah.
like that. Do you think you could give a number to that
Oh yeah,
percentage?
percentage. I would
Yeah.
say, oh look, I'll be honest, I'll be
Mm,
realistic as I can. I'd say 70%.
okay,
There's a big 30% that, not everybody needs to
for
be aware
sure.
of on my inner circle.
Hmm.
But yeah, I definitely feel like a good amount because I'm quite consistent. I feel like I'm a bit of a consistent person,
Yeah.
kind of know what to expect, you know where to find me. You'll find me in the most conscious spaces, radical spaces.
Hmm.
So yeah.
No, for sure, for sure. And my follow up to that question is, looking at you as an artist, how much of that percentage have you shared in your music so far?
Music is my therapy. I would say from 70%, I'll go 100%
Mm,
because you might find some songs that I've written that, say something, respond to something.
mm,
It's really a way that I understand things. Like I really enjoy writing.
mhm,
I like to, get out. It helps me understand and answer questions, even questions that I'm not sure of. I learned so much. And so definitely my writing is really based around a lot of things that realistically I'm either thinking, feeling, or if
mm,
it's not me, somebody else. Because
for
sometimes
sure.
it's hard to get through to people. And I've got this song called Something in Your Eyes, which was inspired from that, when I watching
Mhm,
just, people around me and the struggles and the different it's very much based around mental health
mhm,
and yeah, and so it was like even though it wasn't coming from my own personal perspective, it was like I was feeling it from somebody else's perspective. And yeah, and so I use that as that tool because I was always someone that doesn't really express themselves. You know what it's like sometimes growing up in the African household. There's a way that you deal with your problems,
for
and
sure.
when I started to write, that's when I started to really deal with my problems, and also, but, good things as well.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And a very, very similar answer across the board. Obviously using music as therapy for sure.
Mm.
With a lot of the other people who I've talked to. Do you feel like that you could have given that answer, say I was interviewing you in 2009 when you dropped Sisterhood, uh, uh, in your group, or do you think it's pretty similar?
um, yeah, Sam. Hello, have you heard it? It's the truth. You don't let us in, we're going to kick in the back door. That was,
Not bad.
we were facing, not so much discrimination, but just trying to get in. It's like, well, they're not going to let us in. We'll get in
For
some
sure.
way. Bitches don't like me. That's a song for everyone.
For sure.
If you
For
write
sure.
about, if you do something, I'll write about you. No, I'm just
Of
joking.
course.
But
Nah.
yeah, there's a lot of songs like that on that album that, it's the same. I follow the same kind of, flow of doing things and also having fun, remembering to have joy and fun and laughter and stuff, because like not always being serious. And yeah, you got to have a balance of that.
Definitely.
So yeah, definitely. I think I would have had a similar kind of response, because yeah, a lot of that stuff is happening.
No, 100%. 100%. Well, hopefully through these next few questions, we can get to know a bit more of that 100%. And I have asked you we're going to take it back to primary school days. We're going to do a little bit of a show and tell. And if you don't have the items, that is also cool. Well, at least we get a dope story to go along with it. So, yeah, let's get it going. And my first question to you is, what is something that represents who you are as a person?
Something that represents who I am as a person. I've got it on very subtly today, but it's this. It's my Afrocentric, Afroism colors and accessories and prints. Sure. That is me 100%. I used to really go overboard. I wouldn't call it overboard, but I usually do head to toe.
Yep.
I love to represent. I like to walk in a room and let people know that, yes, I'm an African and I'm proud of it. And this is who I am. And yeah, and I like to wear it as well. It's my identity. It really just, adds to, I really like, I think style and fashion is just something that comes naturally to us. I think it's something we grew up naturally with always, wanting to, make an effort or put that thought into what you're going to wear, how you're going to look. And it's something that I've been really, into is, what is my look? What's my thing? What's my theme? And, it wasn't something that I planned out, but I was like, that's my theme. I'm always gravitating to that, not gravitating to the golds and I love gold, definitely, but not gravitating to the mainstream fashion, not gravitating to what's out in the shops. I actually can't shop in the shops. I find it so hard to go out mainstream shopping. And so a lot of the stuff that I wear is, based around African print, chitenge, kente. I mean, not kente, that's Ghanaian. Ankara, all the different prints that we have in Uganda. We have Chikoi. And so it's really special for me.
No, for sure. For sure. To anyone who is watching and doesn't exactly know what you're wearing, would you give a rundown of the prints or the designs and
So currently I'm wearing my natural dreadlocks, which grows from my natural Afro hair. And I've got a headband on that is printed it is definitely a rip-off of what's meant to be kente. I don't like it when they do that, but I was just attracted to the colors. I will acknowledge that. But it is a headband that just kind of goes around the front of my hair. And I've got some Maasai earrings on, some beaded Maasai earrings. And I've got a yellow necklace, and I'm wearing yellow to represent the goddess Yemaya, as that's her color. But also just yellow is a very positive, beautiful color. Colors are important, different colors give different things. So that's what I've got on. And nobody can see me. I'm just wearing a black singlet and a matching yellow skirt to go with my yellow necklace and the yellow on my headband and the yellow in my earrings.
Would love some coordination.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm definitely still learning about my history when it comes to South Africa and just my blackness as well. It's an ever growing day-to-day journey for me. So like I know that personally I'm colored, so I don't actually have a tribal background when it comes to South Africa. That's a whole nother conversation that I'm not going to get into now. But yeah, it's always something that really intrigues me. And, even just not just learning about South Africa, but learning about the other countries and the tribes within the diaspora, the African diaspora, and, how the importance of, what a normal or what a non-black person would see and just be like, oh yeah, that's a nice beaded necklace. And be like, no, this represents this. And
yeah, exactly. And that's what often happens to our stuff is like, it becomes sometimes can become commercialized, where it's just that nice piece of art or that nice piece of thing, where there's more meaning to this. This is a natural thing for people to do, and it's great that it can also bring income.
Definitely.
And what you're saying, I could definitely relate to that. Identity, it's something that happens here in Australia a lot. Like when we first came here, there was a big push for assimilation. And as in assimilation, as in like you're here now, you are a white Australian, not Australian in the context of the original people, who I wouldn't say are Australian as say, they've got their own tribes as well. But, there was definitely that big push. And I feel like that's something that happens to a lot of us where, if we're not directly connected to our heritage, our background, we're always going to answer those questions. And that's a journey that I went on. I was never satisfied with the fact that, I'm here and what's next,
Sure.
So
for sure.
Yeah.
And I know that, myself and your journey so far and there's so many other people that are relating to that. And, it's one of those, you're not alone type thing, especially if you're Black living in Australia or born in Australia, like myself. And it's like, just, surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are also, thinking about that is, always super important. Something that I'm definitely trying to, bring. And I know that you're also definitely trying to do with the Black Music Alliance and all those things. So
I think we've always been like that. Like we've been, part of this network for ages. I've always been connected to the African community very regularly, more than when I was younger than now. But being around African community every week, every weekend has always been a part of my upbringing and growing up. And I just think it was a very important tool that didn't realize at the time, but it really helped me to be centered and grounded and go back and go like, everything you do in hip-hop is very much comes from this.
For sure. Before we keep moving, do you have a favorite piece of like African clothing or
I wish I brought it with me. Do I have a favorite, like my own, or just general favorite?
Your own.
I get my clothes made. I've got a lot of nice outfits.
Nice.
But one of my favorite outfits, I wish I could just pull up a quick photo of it. But when I went like one of the last time I was in Uganda, I connected with this incredible designer called Raska Sozi, and he made me this amazing outfit, which I do have. And it's a remix. Our traditional outfit is called the Gomezi, the Gomez, and it's like this, big shoulders, and it looks like a kimono, like a Japanese kimono.
Right.
So it's very similar. So if you picture a Japanese kimono with a massive belt, similar to how they got a big belt around their waist.
Yeah.
Big shoulders. So we made we made a version of that, but I made it into like this long sleeve jacket, and some nice buttons and stuff. And then he also did me these Kween G pants where he got, because I'm very much rebel, movement, fight the system kind of thing. Course. So he made me these army print pants and put like in beads. I don't know, these designers I don't know where they find the time, but beaded Kween G along the pants in this beautiful yellow and black color. And I have to say that's probably one of my favorite pieces that I've had because of that connection of remixing that we remixed the Gomez.
For sure. That's fire. I love that. Dope. I wish you had it on you, but that's totally fine. I'll definitely want to see a photo later. All right. Number 2. What is your favorite sentimental gift that you received from someone?
Recently? Actually, now I've got 2 things. It's so hard to choose, but I did. Look, I just went for what's the most recent thing I've received. And the most recent thing I've received is this. It spells. It's this like little, oh gosh.
You have to put your hand behind it. Yeah.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah.
Product placement. Look, I'm not a Christmas present person. Like if somebody gives me a gift, thank you. But I like to give gifts, not so much as in like it's because it's Christmas, but with your work colleagues and stuff, you just like to give them a little something. Like I gave the person who gave me this, I gave them a lanyard because they always just leave their keys around.
Nice. Smart.
Chuck stuff everywhere, and so I was like, oh, Oh, have like yeah, I was like, have this because you really need it. You know,
Mhm.
it's something. And ever since then, they've never lost their keys or called me up going, "Have you seen my keys?"
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so yeah, and then they just gave me this book, and it's been really cute. Like sometimes you don't take it literally, but every now and then I'll pick one up, and it'll
Mhm.
tell me to go get something, and I'll go get it and put it into my little space. So yeah, that's a real sentimental gift that I've received recently.
Yeah, nice.
But
Nice.
but it's not, I won't put any spells on anyone.
No, yeah. I hope. Um, yeah, nice. Is it that you like the because you mentioned that you like giving gifts.
Hmm.
Um, is it that you enjoy seeing the joy from someone else when they receive a gift from you that is you put a lot of thought into, or just why
Yeah.
why do you think it's the that way?
I think for me it's service.
Hmm.
It's this, it's interesting you ask me that because it's something that I have noticed, like where
Mm.
I do it in two ways, where it's like it could be a physical gift, but the way I do it more is in just my time and wanting to share. Like I generally want the best out of people. Like I really enjoy working with emerging people who are starting out
Hmm.
and supporting them and giving them where I can. Anyway, I wish I had thousands and millions of production money, please. It will go so
Manifest.
far. It won't just go on me. I will share that so well. But yeah, I really enjoy giving, sharing my experiences,
Hmm.
things that have inspired me, things that get me through life. And yeah, and does sometimes come in the form of little things. And it's not about going to the shop and buying it. It could just be something that you come across and you're like, oh, this will be good for this person. This person will like this.
Hmm.
Because it's happened to me. I've had that a lot too. People have gifted me, like literally gone out and bought things, and I'm like, I can't afford this life. I
Yeah.
just can't. I'm not one of those people. I can't just go around gifting massive things all the time. So
Yeah.
definitely not into the context of birthdays
Hmm.
and things like that, but just more like in, how can I support, what can I do to support you? I really see a lot in you. I really believe in you. I want to work with you, and sometimes it ends up burning me.
Mm.
Sometimes it gets me, but at the same time I don't mind, because if I see that person in 5 or 10 years time or in a few months time and they're doing really well, I'm going to be like, that's all I needed.
For sure.
That's all I wanted, is that for that that to come out, because I really see that. That's why I talk about production. I'm like, if somebody just gave me that production platform
Yeah.
and money, I will do this. And I do that with Dancey Dance Time a lot.
Hmm.
That's where that kind of came from, is because I seen a lot of incredible choreographers and
Mm.
dancers,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, and I usually see them dancing behind, backup dancing, and not in the front.
Hmm.
And I'm going, you spend so much time in your craft, you're telling a story with your body, with your
Hmm.
words. Like I do that with a song, and some people do that with musical instruments. Some people do what you're doing now by sharing the platforms with people. But
Hmm.
I really wanted to highlight choreographers and really local. Like I'm really
For
proud
sure.
of local talent, local
Mm.
artists who are, to me, world class,
Hmm.
who are good enough to be on the world class stage. And if we
Definitely.
to me, when we get on the stage, it's a world class. Like we don't have to look for that major something that is probably completely out of our reach. But what
Yeah.
is within our reach is the space that we can provide and build something upon it. And we all come in it for different things. Some people come in it for profit, some people come in it for fame and want to be recognized, but some
Hmm.
people generally just have an interest in seeing this stuff being seen by other people. If I see something good, I want to share it. I want to look, check out what I saw. I heard
Mm.
this great song. I want to share it with you.
Definitely.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that's part of that.
100%. 100%. And we definitely need more platforms like that for sure.
Mm.
Like to just share out of whether physical or online, just for
Mm.
the love of just, hey, check this out, or hey, let me put you on game with
Yeah. And just
these individuals.
encouraging to make it normal to not always look outside. There's so much we have here already,
Yeah.
so much within our reach,
Hmm.
but we're not thinking like we're thinking like, oh, it has to be from somewhere else to be
Yeah.
good. It's like it's right here. It's
Yeah.
it's in Marrickville a lot of the
Sure.
times.
Yeah.
You know, I call Faversham Street Faversham famous because
Mm.
everybody's on that street. Like how I see you walking
Yeah.
down there. You know, I'm like, he's all famous to me.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
So yeah, I
Uh,
did something one time, but I would love to do a block party there and call
that'd
it
be fun.
Faversham famous and just get everyone who's in that hub who comes, because so many people. Like I sometimes, one time Idris Elba was on Faversham Street
Oh,
buying
really?
a
What?
like he was at this that motorbike shop buying something, and I was like,
So
what
random.
is going? This is something else. And also the studios, the rehearsal studios like Soundworks, always seem like I don't even need to, I find it hard to catch up with people. I'm always busy, but I'll catch up with you in passing on the street because you just happen to be rehearsing
Yeah.
right down from where I am, and I can have a quick catch up with you, and that's good for me.
For sure. For sure. Well, if you do that idea, count me in because I'm definitely
Yeah, definitely
would love
do
to
those
help.
lane ways.
All right,
Copyright. Faversham famous is mine.
done. All right, let's move on. Number 3. What is the first album that you ever bought or received?
The first album that I received, proper album. I'm talking about album. I've got singles that I received and got gifted before. But one of the first ones, can I say 2?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
One of the first ones was my 14th birthday. I got given Eve's album Scorpion.
Oh, wow. Dope.
Changed my life, changed my world. Just back to back listening to that, going, obviously because the person who gave it to me knew I was an MC. It was like, here, listen to another MC. And it was good that it was a female MC too, because I always just listened to whatever was given to me. I didn't look at it as like whatever the gender is. I was never looking at gender until the attention started to come to me. But that was one of my first albums. But the Ruu album that I would say, that's why I want to say 2, because that was technically my first, and I love it. And it really sculptured me in writing and things like that. But the album that really changed my world and how I saw things was Dead Prez, Let's Get Free.
Okay.
It was actually loaned to me, but I never gave it back.
Yeah, permanently loaned.
Permanent loan, because I couldn't part ways with it.
Yeah.
There was no copying it. I was like, I need the cover, I need the artwork, I need to open up the booklet and look at everything, because the lyrics were also inside it. But the artwork, that front cover artwork, and the fact that Dead Prez have that album, that's really their main album. They've released other songs, but they can tour the world just off Let's Get Free. Just off that back, like start to finish, including all their other individual and tracks and other albums. But Let's Get Free, Dead Prez, I'm an African and I know what's happening. They told me that. They schools can't teach us. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, of course.
They schools can't teach us shit. My people need freedom. We're trying to get all we can get. Psychology, that really started to get me to interrogate, because I was already there. With kind of interrogating social norms and society and everything happening around me. But when I heard that album and really listened to it, I was like, how do you write like this? I want to write like them. I want to talk consciously. I want to speak truth. I want to say hard stuff, hard hitting facts that, are going to resonate with people as well, because it's also you got to feel it. You can easily go off a hard hitting fact and it's like corny. It's like, oh yeah, ABC 1, 2, 3. She's lecturing us. No, like there's an art to it. And Dead Prez, Let's Get Free.
For sure. And I totally understand what you mean. Like I don't like to be preached at. And when a song feels super like da 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 da, even if it's pro-black and also, it's like but you delivered it in such a way that just feels like anyone else is listening to it is just gonna be like, what are you talking about? But for me personally, the album that really hit me, that was Joey Badass's All American Badass.
Oh, Joey. So if you were gonna say to me, what's your song? I would have been like, what's that? Time Waits for No Man. What's that? I always forget the name of the song. But I know it's the one he performed at the awards last year. Time. I think it's called Joey Badass. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Train of thought.
Yeah.
But it's that's like, look at him. Like how he's in his 20s. Like he's a generation now artist and can really speak to people's hearts like that. You know?
Mhm.
But you were saying about Joey's
No,
album.
for sure. Like All American Badass, that one really made me. That was like the precipice of my. Let me start researching these social justice figures, and even if it's
Mm.
the stereo, like the cliche Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, like, but or let me start paying attention to some of these world issues and
Yeah.
things that's going on. So
And that's
yeah.
very much about what hip hop's about, like as much as it's become, very commercialized, and that's what, really where it went wrong. But, it's really important that we understand what hip hop is, and that is a
Mhm.
normal part of hip hop roots is to respond to injustice, because the people who started it were directly hit with it. But now anyone can just do it, and anyone can just appropriate it and turn it into their thing. And that's also something to be grateful for, that this thing that has been given to the world by Black people is reaching so far. And it's really beautiful to see in every aspect.
Definitely. And one more part of this question, seeing as you brought up Eve, who is your top 3 female MCs of all time?
Okay.
Ideally in
Lauryn
order,
Hill.
but
this is, why are you doing this to me? Rock.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say the names. They're all my favorite.
Mhm.
Lauryn Hill, Rock is. Have you heard Rock? Deliverer of all deliverers. Has got so much tracks out there, and just you can't mess with her when it comes to the flow and the vibe. And then I'll have to say, oh, 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 oh. Why are you doing this to me? This is something I take very seriously. Oh. Okay, so I said Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill. Yep.
I said Rock.
Yep.
Jean Grey.
Okay.
Jean Grey, sorry, excuse my Jean Grey, because I actually got to meet her. Like
I don't.
she used to tour here a lot. And I say her because definitely at the time and still now, like she's dope artist. She's from South Africa. And very underground. Look, I'm an underground person. I'm not gonna name a mainstream person. That's just something I can't do. I have to go to when you say MC, if you say rapper,
yeah.
there's other names I can drop.
No, I chose that word. I chose that word specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. Nah, nice. If it was me, it'd be Lauryn Hill, Left Eye, and I like Foxy Brown.
See, this is hard. Foxy Brown. Damn, yeah, Foxy Brown, another hard hitter. How good was she in The Firm? Like,
ridiculous. She could out rap all of the guys.
Yeah.
I think I look forward to her verse the most on Nas's Affirmative Action.
Yeah.
On The Message.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And if I'm gonna throw in a modern one, I love Rhapsody.
Rhapsody.
I'm the streets have been waiting for her to drop a new album, and I really want it to come.
Yeah, I love Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Wordplay, everything. Like she's like a genius rapper. She's in that category where 100%. It's like you're in the encyclopedia.
No, definitely. All right, number 4. What is a moment from one of your favorite gigs, and what is a moment from one of your favorite sessions?
Damn. So many shows, so many moments. There's so many. Like it's always really fun. I really enjoy performing. I perform in an African band at Lazy Bones mainly. That's the only place we're getting a gig at the moment. But but I love Lazy Bones. I think it's important. Yeah, important venue. But Afro and Bolo. I really enjoy performing in Afro and Bolo because it's African music. Like it's straight up drums, and it's a dream come true for me because I'm like, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
How through my journey of DJ, mic, dancers, MC only did I end up in live music, live band. But also, between my original songs, I also sing songs in Wolof. That Yaku Mbai has taught teaches us to sing, and yeah, that's really I guess developed. It's been like almost a professional development being in that band, because like there's a way that you perform live music. You can rehearse the song, but there's a way when on the night it's going to be completely different.
Sure.
It's going to probably go for longer.
Yep.
And it's also like, working with the musicians as well. So I think for me, like that's been really an incredible journey, and a funny one. I got to tell you this funny story.
Yeah.
Right, because only those who know would know.
True.
Only those whoever from like when our album launch, Killer Queen's album launch, Sisterhood, at Oxford Art Factory. Look at me, I'm even naming the venue. So we got this song called Bitches Don't Like Me, and we're performing the song, and the energy was crazy that night. The energy was just, everyone was like in the energy and just really vibing and going off. And this sister that I never seen in my life, never seen her in my life, launches the stage right on the hook. She must have been like feeling the song was like getting to her. It was finished. She was feeling it, and she launches onto the stage to one of my homegirls who wasn't performing with us.
Yeah,
she was just like, we're like how dudes like to have the entourage, and I had my sisters with me, and I always roll deep on the stage, all women. All women cast. That's another thing that that's how you know about me, is like I'm always with women
for sure.
And so I've got my women crew, and this chick just launched. This is a fun one because my other one was deep. This is a fun one. She just launches herself to the stage and goes to attack my homegirl, and I'm in my verse. I'm in the middle of the chorus. And there's all these guys in the backstage, mind you. And I'm waiting. I'm expecting, like, in an altercation situation, you kind of look around for some support.
Yeah, the security.
But no one's doing anything. And I'm looking at the audience, and all I see is Jimmy Singh put this show on for us. Shout out to Good God Small Club, Jimmy Singh. And I could just see his face like, that better not be a fight. That better... So when somebody's face just says what they're saying without, and then the audience crowd, I just locked eyes with him, and I was like, damn, and in that moment I'm like, this is gonna be known as the night where the fight broke out. And so I jump in between this chick while still delivering my part. Didn't get off beat, didn't stop the show, didn't go, oh shit, what's going on. We just continued as it happened. And grabbed this sister, got her out the way, like, what the hell, carried on the show. And then afterwards I was like, what the heck was that? What just happened? Who is this person who flew from interstate, mind you, when I found out the real story, not to come attack that person, but just come to our, and actually came to our show, flew in from somewhere to come to our show, and her arch enemy was on stage, and she took a moment, and I love that. I just think that was one of my favorite moments ever, because it could have, but the worst part was everyone just standing there doing nothing.
They're just like,
why do people do that in an altercation? Like, they don't jump in and they don't intervene. Like, this is a show going on, guys. I'm in the middle of my verse. Help me, just sort this out, please. And they're just doing like,
I don't know what you want us to do.
I was like, man. Some of them are like, I thought this was a part of the show.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But I met that sister some years later, because I was still like, I wasn't, as much as it was we got away with it, but it was very disrespectful. Yeah, for sure. Very disrespectful. So I ended up meeting her in person one day, and I was sitting in a room with this person for hours, and she comes up to me and apologizes and introduces herself and just explained herself like from way back. And I was like, oh wow, I never thought I'd get the rest of this story, because nobody seemed to know what was going on. Oh wow. Wow. That's funny. That's how stuff used to roll in Sydney 10 years ago. That's wild. That's wild. And what year was that? That was 2009? Yeah, that was in the year the album launch night. Wow. No, yeah, I definitely know. Well, I mean, I don't know. I was in year 6.
So,
Oh,
but I can definitely believe that, the Sydney was definitely different than because
oh
I'm performing at
yeah.
the Oxford Arts like in 9 days, and I know it's definitely
Oxford
not the
Art
same.
Factory is like one of the most another great venue. It's
Mhm.
so good that it's still around that people still get to showcase themselves in it, because like a lot of these venues really made us, like really set us up. And that was still when it was new days. It was still very new
Yeah.
then. And so, yeah, it's good to see like a lot of these venues that have been supporting, the growth and different generations of artists throughout the time.
Mhm.
Venues are really important.
Definitely support. Go to gigs, support venues, support
Mm.
artists. 100%. And do you have one from a favorite session?
Oh yeah, favorite session. I'll say a recent one. A favorite session was I did this Ricochet songwriting camp. It was the first time I ever did anything like that.
Hmm.
And I loved the whole 3 days because I was in a time where I wasn't really creating. I wasn't like I had like ish stuff happening, really personal
Hmm.
stuff happening in my life that didn't allow for the space. And so when they contacted me to do that writing camp for me, I wasn't doing it because for me my end goal is I love the tracks that we did. It wasn't
Yeah.
about I'm going in there for this, but I was like really just going there for the need. Like I actually just needed to be surrounded and be creative and be put to the test,
Mm.
like working with other engineers. I'm used to my comfort zone where I work with people I know.
Hmm.
I've got a history with them.
Hmm.
And yeah, and so that was a really good time doing the Ricochet song camps
For
with a
sure.
bunch of female other women producers, singers, songwriters. Yeah, just learning about that space and also coming up with some really good music.
Yeah. No, for sure. I love that. I love that. It always helps to put yourself in fresh environments, even if it's, outside the comfort zone. And, especially during a time when, like you said, you were going through some personal things, but, it can give a little bit of a fresh perspective.
Mm.
And, like you said, you're thankful for how it ended up going for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, dope. All right, number 5. What is something that represents your dreams and aspirations within your field?
Oh, I touched on it a little bit earlier on, but something that represents my dreams and aspirations is seeing the development and the growth of everybody around.
Hmm.
Being surrounded by really amazing creatives who we can share and we have a lot of stuff in common with
Hmm.
as well. I think that for me is something that is, yeah, I enjoy it. I think that's how I've ended up in the space I'm in. Like
Hmm.
I started on radio. I used to do radio, and I had a similar thing where it was like about playing songs that I think are dope. I'm like, check out this, check out
Hmm.
this. And then now I get to curate things. I share the space because I can easily just put myself on
Yeah.
constantly and just make it about me, me, me. But I generally share. If I get a door open for me, we're all coming through.
Yeah.
If there's something there, I'm gonna share it and stuff. And so I think that for me is how we continue this because it's a culture, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'd say that hip hop for me is a lifestyle, and it's something that I live every single day. It's not about just getting on and rapping and writing, and it's service. Another thing I love to do is give service, and a lot of people are like, oh, how come you're so helpful? How come you always? I just it's
Yeah.
something I need to do. I don't know. People find it in religion. I
Mm.
find it in art,
Hmm.
in culture
Definitely.
a lot.
Definitely. And yeah, I can definitely relate to that as well. Like, as I'm slowly building my brand and stuff like that, I'm realizing the importance and, how much people appreciate when you just
Mm,
say, "Hey, I like your thing," or "Hey, I came to your event and I'm thankful that you just took a second to video me and put it on your
mm,
page." Um, so yeah, like you said, we've touched on this already throughout the interview, but
mm,
um, yeah, there is such a a, a, a humbling isn't the right word. There's a feeling that you
mm,
get when you're like, wow, like I'm really appreciative that I can assist in someone else's growth as well.
Yeah, and it's not for everyone. Like it's
Mhm.
not something that everyone should be expected to do. I really feel like it's a gift because it takes a lot of patience.
Mhm.
And it does take a lot of passion and it does come from the heart. And it's
Mhm.
not for everyone. Not everybody wants to be there for everybody else. And that is okay.
Mhm.
You know, it's okay if you're just there for you, and that's also good too.
Yeah.
But you know, and I think it does something to the whole system, the ecosystem
Yeah.
of whatever it is around. You know, so like I love to see that I you know, I mean it's different circles, different times, different eras, but we still all meet back in some way, shape, or form because there's different things that you're doing to elevate yourself. Like you're not
Mhm.
always going to be in the same place. It's like looking forward. Where am I going to go next? What stone am I stepping on next?
Mhm. No, for sure. For sure. Um, okay. Yeah. We got a couple more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Or one more question. But before
Yeah.
we get to that, it's game time because I love to play a game. So what I'm going to get you to do is build your ultimate collab track, ultimate posse cut, all local artists, Aussie artists. You're on the track, so you get to choose three other artists that you work with, a producer and a videographer.
Hey, nice. And a collaborative artist too, or is it
Um, like, wait, what do you
like am
mean?
I? Yeah, like is anybody else on this project, or is it
Yeah.
just me, the producer, and the videographer?
So it's no. So it's three. So it's you and three other artists.
Okay.
Yep. So you get to choose three
Oh,
other artists
great.
you do the track with, as well as the producer and the videographer.
Okay, well, I know the first artist I'm gonna go to
Hmm.
because like she's actually one of my favorite artists because she's not
Hmm.
just a singer, musician, like she's an all-round hectic, like does it
Hmm.
all.
Yeah.
Nancy Dennis is on the track,
Hmm.
straight up. I don't know if you
Hmm.
know her, Haitian sister, who's also an incredible actor
Mm.
and sings in HIA, which is her
Actually,
family
I have
band.
heard of. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, why are you doing this to me? Okay, so we're gonna go with Nancy Dennis. Oh, I feel like I've almost got to pull out a list of heavy hitters. Oh, Mari.
Mm.
Like I told you, I like women. I don't know. I just
Mhm.
I'll try mention a man.
No, for
Um,
sure.
Mari,
Hmm.
Madness.
Hmm.
So I said Nancy Dennis, Mari, and Nairi.
Mm.
Nairi is an incredible, like one of
Yeah.
the most Papua New Guinea sister who
Mm.
voices the angels of all angels.
Hmm.
And then to produce, we're gonna work with oh yeah. Who's producing these days? Who's out there? I used to be like the biggest producer head that I could just, you know,
Rattle them off.
name.
Yeah.
Um, damn. Is he so mad? You oh, producers. And then the videographer, right?
Yep.
You know whose beats I like?
Hmm.
And this is like not even I'm an expert. I actually like K Sevilla. I feel like if
Mm.
I did a session with K Sevilla,
Mm.
I reckon we'll come up with some mad stuff
For
because he
sure.
really knows how to work
The drum machines
those
and
drum machines and
yeah,
stuff, you
definitely.
know. But in a dream world, you know who I really like I've worked with them before though.
Mm.
Is that included?
That's fine. Yeah.
Well, not really. I haven't officially worked with them. We've
Okay.
never released anything.
Hmm.
Audius.
Mm. Okay.
Audius is like I know he's like a real mainstream artist, but I can't get to him in the studio. Can we like do something because you seem to be making these hits, brother? Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no, I've actually not worked with Audius before, but yeah, I'd love to. I'd be interested to see, you know, to work with these kind of again out of the box. That's really out of the box for me. Someone that's does really
Mm.
major stuff. And then videographer. I don't know who's out there. Who's the cats that are making videos? Do they like have like names and stuff out there? Because I just work with um whoever I really get. Oh, but she's not a videographer. You're making this hard for me, brother. I'm just gonna name all my friends.
Yeah, of course.
This
Look,
is my
go ahead.
problem.
As long as they're
I work
holding your
with
camera.
everyone I know. This is my one of my biggest problems is like, do you have any normal friends? Do any of your friends not artists? It's not my fault.
I know what to tell you.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who I really like his videos I like? I'm
Mhm.
not sure if they're fully a videographer. But Eliam from House of Silky
Mhm.
makes amazing videos, like
Mhm.
always puts out some really good content. So yeah, I'd work with Eliam, Nancy Dennis, Mari,
Mhm.
myself, and
Mhm.
Nairi, Nancy,
Yep.
Queen G, Case of Villa Beat
Mhm.
with videography by Eliam.
Well, let's see if that ever happens.
Yeah. Dream come true,
Oh,
you heard.
yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. We got one more question before we get out
Yeah.
of here. What is a personal moment that stands out to you that has impacted your craft in a certain way?
A standout moment.
Yeah.
I actually bought something. It's
Mm-hmm.
not really a moment, but it's a book. It's The Tipping Point. Gee,
Mm.
whatever. I
Very good.
encourage people to read this. Here we go.
There we go.
Malcolm Gladwell.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a radio show called The Tipping Point.
Mm-hmm.
The Roots have an album called The Tipping Point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's The Tipping Point. I think this book, yeah, really, it's very random the way to answer that question. But I love books. I love reading because I feel like when you're in that writer's block, it's one of the things I like to do is like I'll go and I'll be like, okay, if I can't write, I'm just gonna read and
Mm-hmm.
see what I can find out. But this book is another turning point for me that it's really helped me change the way things feel because I first heard of it from the Roots track,
Mm.
from the Roots, The Tipping Point.
Yeah.
And so then I came across somebody gave me this as well. Actually, who was new again, people that know I'm a hip hop head like to
Yeah.
do little subtle connections in my life. So they must have read it and were like, they didn't even read it. They straight up handed it to me. It was like,
Yeah.
here, you do a show called The Tipping Point. And I'm like, I thought The Tipping Point was a Roots thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a moment for me that yeah, after reading that book, I started to approach my artist, like the way I do things in a different way.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. For sure. Is there like a specific lesson that you've taken from
Oh, I
from the
read this
book?
book so long ago. But I guess it's I've read it so long ago that I'm like, what was I even reading? What is it that about it that changed me? But I think it's just the approach. It's just like the way of the different ways of looking at things, Um, and yeah, and I think it helps a lot with, when you're trying to understand whatever the struggle, whatever the unanswered question is.
Mm.
It's a big theme for me. And yeah, I think, yeah, yeah, books in general, really, yeah, shift the parallel for me because I'm, yeah, a bit of a book nerd.
No, for sure. For sure. I've definitely been trying to get into maybe not physically reading books, but Audible, listening to books and,
Mm.
you know, really doing my due diligence there.
Challenge
Um,
yourself and read a book
no, for sure. And
because
I
it's good
love
for
reading
the
books. I,
attention
I I love
span.
the
It's good
physical
for
books as
the
well.
for the getting off that in your head, voices in your head.
Mhm.
Yeah, highly encourage people to keep reading. There's so many great authors out there, that and it inspires your writing.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can learn for sure. For sure. But anyway, that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for coming on. Here is where I kind of roll out the red carpet a little bit and be like, yo, let the people know what is been happening, what is coming up possibly. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that moment because I can rip it off. All right, so a few things that have been happening that are still happening and going to happen. Send for Nelly is the first thing I'm going to tell you all about. As this is Black History Month, it's very important that currently the show's in Wollongong. It was at Sydney Festival, but I had this incredible opportunity to work on a show called Send for Nelly, which a true story about a West Indian Black woman from Sydney who was born here in the 1930s, and she was singing herself away through a lot of venues that we are very familiar with and spaces. She used to dress in men's clothing, and she was really a superstar. And I think it's good for us to know about her. So I encourage, even if you don't get along to the shows, hopefully we can bring it back back in town again. Another thing to be aware of is International Women's Day. It's big, one of my favorite days of the year. Myself and Merania Marin, who's one of my favorite vocalists in the country, we've got some unreleased music that we've been sitting on for years, and the time has come for you to hear it. So on March 8th at Lazy Bones, we've got a live band. The show is called World on Fire because that's what's currently happening. Literally, the world is on fire. And we're speaking to that. We're speaking to the times that we're in. And that's March 8th. And then also, just keep checking out. I'm going to just meaninglessly plug it. But yeah, keep checking out Afro and Bolo. Check out Red Rattler Theatre. We've always got some incredible shows throughout March. We've got some mad great Southern Nights shows happening as well. So keep a lookout. I'm always telling people to come to something that I'm doing or somewhere I'm going to be. So kibone.ancestry is where you find me online most of the time. And yeah, keep supporting, keep showing love, and hope to see you at one of these next shows, but definitely March 8th. Something to look out for. And also look out for Mapule, as this is a global platform. So it's not just where we are. But Nancy Dennis is going to be performing her show that I'm in called Mapule, and we're going to be touring it again this year. So yeah, keep a lookout for that.
Dope. Well, thank you so much. Once again, I am Ruu, aka the Culture Black Kid, Kween G. Catch you next time on Ruu's Room.
Much respect.
Peace.